headlines are out of control. Today we are breaking down the top 6 most misleading headlines that came out of Harry and Meghan's Colombia trip. Hi everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley, welcome back. Here we have an Access Hollywood video and headline. Harry and Meghan bond with school children in Colombia. The definition of bond when used as a verb in this context is to establish a relationship based on shared feelings and experiences. This visit was super duper short, especially when you factor into all of the logistics of getting them there with their overboard security and their outfit changes they needed to make time for on this day. So they were only at the school for a very short time, part of which was taken up with watching a dance performance and touring around the school itself and then planting trees. Straight up, there was not enough time to establish a relationship of any kind. There was no bonding opportunities to be had. So this overly generous language, exaggerating, ultimately undermines the situation. It's not helping Harry and Meghan out. People aren't stupid. It makes it seem like Harry and Meghan are just using these children for a PR boost. The kids got nothing from this. They got no benefits except for a couple of trees planted. Harry and Meghan, however, got lots and lots of pictures and this sort of press coverage, which misrepresented what actually happened, but regardless, they got something out of it. It's ridiculous to claim that bonding occurred, and so much so that it backfires. This is part of why none of their attempts to get good press tend to work out. Despite headlines like this seeming really, really positive, when somebody reads the article or looks a little further into it, they find out that this is basically a lie of a headline. It's over the top and transparent. And that ultimately makes somebody look even worse than just making a normal headline that's less fantastical, less fabulous, less exciting, doesn't sound quite as great, but is accurate and truthful. People respect that more than trying to lie and make it seem like it was better than it was. Just saying Harry and Meghan stopped by this school to tour it and plant some trees. Why? Nobody knows, but that's what they did, instead of being like, they bonded with these school children. No, they didn't. They stopped by for an hour or two. The point is that it's just creating a situation where people respect the Sussexes less and less and less because they are just fake. Everything they're doing is faking. They're trying to create an image. They're trying to spin everything and make it seem better than it is. It's not the dawn of social media anymore, Meghan. You can't fake these sorts of things. Next up, Meghan Markle busts out impressive dance moves during the Colombia tour. It was decidedly not impressive. These types of headlines are just silly. They're not helping the Sussexes like they had hoped, because all it does is motivate curious people like myself to seek out the video and find a very underwhelming, rather awkward elbows up and wiggle move that can only be categorized as goofy. Prince Harry and Meghan kickstarted the trip in Bogota on August 15 with an official welcome from the Vice President. Their busy first day included an insight session surrounding social media use at a school, a cultural performance, and a summit addressing the urgent need for responsible technology practices. Calm down. That summit did not address an urgent need for responsible technology practices. How could it address anything when the content was not broadcast or published at all? Furthermore, an insight session actually meant they did a circle talk. They sat in a circle with some students and asked them some questions about their experience with social media. That's it. Fanciful language. A lot of articles claimed that the Sussexes were attempting to support or educate about the negative impacts from digital spaces, with phrases like these popping up in articles. A quote from Meghan: "We should model how we want our kids to be raised and for the world in which we raise them. It doesn't matter where you live, it doesn't matter who you are, either you personally or someone you know is a victim to what's happening online, and that's something we can actively work on every day to remedy." But that's not what actually happened. They haven't educated about it. They are just pointing at a problem, and this victim mentality approach is very disempowering. What would be better is to illustrate healthy attitudes about online spaces, putting it into the context of very little importance in the grand scheme of things, to not take it so seriously, to be prepared for the inevitability of negative comments online, because that's just what it is. Just like in real life. We teach our kids to stay away from sketchy characters, to not talk to strangers, to not let people touch their bodies. Because sadly, unfortunately, not all people are good and trustworthy. And so we teach our children to not be too trustworthy with people they encounter in the world in order to keep them safe from the handful of weirdos. A similar approach needs to be taken when it comes to problems stemming from online engagement. There will be comments you don't like. There will be content that's not true and upsetting and disturbing. So the conversation should be teaching people to be their own filters, to not let the interwebs upset them. That's the best safeguard. And it's one that feels empowering for everyone involved, and one that Harry and Meghan could be spreading. But they're not. Here's the next one. Prince Harry and Meghan arrive in Colombia to promote mental health and combat cyberbullying. Wow. Prince Harry and his wife Meghan arrived in Colombia, where they will participate in several events promoting mental health for young people and how to combat cyberbullying, one of the couple's latest philanthropic causes. Not so fast. Combat is a really strong word for what actually happened. A few repeated punchlines about wanting to protect people and we're no longer debating facts is not combating anything. Furthermore, Harry, you haven't been debating facts since 2017, okay? A staggering amount of lies told by Harry and Meghan across Oprah, Archetypes, Finding Freedom, Omid's other awful book, Endgame, Harry's book, Spare, and all of their other interviews reveals Harold to be the poster boy for not debating facts. We all are wondering what reality he is living in, because it's certainly not the one rooted in all the facts we know. And feelings aren't facts. Feelings are capricious. They are fickle, while facts are much more stable. If anybody's not debating facts, it's Harry and the Meg. Additionally, I didn't see any mental health promotion happening here. I didn't read about anything being promoted in these articles, and this is a key problem to their PR approach. They issue these lofty press releases, and make no mistake, that's where these sorts of news articles are coming from. Team Sussex sends a press release around with their own wording in it, and a staff writer just types up a quickie with no further information. But these two are so detached from reality that the holes are far too easily poked in their stories. What did they do to combat cyberbullying? What did they do to promote mental health? Nothing. Some commentators have picked up on this. There is opportunity here for them if they can craft a way of actually helping parents with this problem. But I think the key question for Harry and Meghan is, how do you move from simply joining a conversation about how bad it all is, which, everybody already agrees anyway, to actually giving parents something that they want to need? This is why solutions-based conversations are so much more productive and valuable. At this point, we've heard Harry and Meghan say these same talking points for at least 3 years. They have not moved the conversation forward towards solutions. It's still stuck in the negative. However, we have seen examples of the opposite approach, solutions-based discussions, working masterfully for the royal family, especially with Earthshot and the Early Years projects. They are very solutions-based initiatives, and they have produced amazing results, all without having to constantly point out how bad something is or how challenging a situation is or anything like it. It inspires people to think creatively. It's very difficult to come up with solutions or good ideas and think clearly about solving a problem when you're distracted by fear-mongering like Harry in the CBS interview, or uninspired, we should all work on this every day platitudes. Or how about this news headline? Meghan Markle delivers a masterclass in tonal dressing in Colombia. She did not. False. Okay, here is the key to tonal dressing. The tones must match. We're going to use purple for this example, okay? Here are cooler toned purples. They have more blue in them. Here are warmer and more neutral toned purples that have a little bit more red in them. So step 1 to making a tonal outfit, you choose your color. Any color. Step 2, choose your tone. Warm, cool, very close to neutral. Those are the 3 options. Step 3, stay in your tonal lane. You will have a successful tonal outfit when you keep the shades of the color in the same tone family, either all warms or all cools or close to neutral. I find it a little bit more difficult to do close to neutral because each piece is going to have slightly different tones to them. But generally you can make it work if they are relatively warm or relatively cool, no matter the color that you choose. We already discussed the brown, absolutely tragic outfit, how the top was a little bit more warm, the pants a little bit more neutral to cool, and the shoes were like something else altogether. Here in this white outfit, she has a bright white skirt, a slightly off-white shirt that looked a little bit more warm. The hat was almost cream to warm, and then the black stripe and the black sandals. This is not a tonal outfit per se, and it's certainly far from a masterclass. It is irresponsible journalism and misleading people everywhere to screw up their tonal outfits. How rude. Safe to say, you cannot rely on these magazines and publications to be bringing you true and fair news. But it's time for question of the day. You all have asked me what the kittens' names are. I adopted them both from a shelter just a few weeks ago. They were absolutely inundated with kittens. And this is Kenji. He's about 4 months old and he knows how to untie shoes and he's a total baby. And this is Nyla. She's about 6 months. She is an acrobat and very, very lovey. They are both absolute purr machines. And if you've been thinking about getting a pet, then this is your sign to go and check the shelter. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I hope you have a happy day ahead and I will see you next time. Bye.